So, let me tell you about the time when I witnessed the most bizarre and hilarious thing ever. It all started when I was walking through the park one day, minding my own business, when I stumbled upon a group of plants unlike anything I had ever seen before. These plants were tall, with long, spindly stems and bright, colorful flowers that seemed to glow in the sunlight. But the strangest thing about them was that they were moving. Yes, you heard me right. These plants were actually moving, swaying back and forth as if they were dancing to some invisible beat. I couldn't believe my eyes. I mean, I've seen some weird things in my time, but dancing plants? That was a first. And just when I thought things couldn't get any weirder, I noticed something even more bizarre. There was a robot standing in the middle of the plants, looking up at the sky with a confused expression on its metallic face. It seemed to be trying to communicate with the plants, waving its arms around and making strange beeping noises. I couldn't help but laugh. I mean, here was this robot, surrounded by dancing plants, looking like it had no idea what was going on. It was like something out of a sci-fi comedy movie. But then, things took an even more unexpected turn. The plants suddenly started to grow taller and taller, reaching up towards the sky at an alarming rate. And before I knew it, the robot was being lifted off the ground, carried up into the air by the towering plants. I watched in awe as the robot soared higher and higher, its arms flailing wildly as it tried to make sense of what was happening. And then, to my utter amazement, the plants launched the robot into the sky, sending it hurtling towards the moon. I couldn't believe my eyes. I mean, who would have thought that a bunch of dancing plants could have the power to send a robot to the moon? It was like something out of a crazy dream. As I stood there, staring up at the sky in disbelief, I couldn't help but burst out laughing. I mean, how often do you get to witness something as absurd and hilarious as a robot being launched into space by a group of dancing plants? And as I walked away from the park, still chuckling to myself, I couldn't help but wonder what other strange and wacky adventures awaited me in this crazy world. Who knows what other bizarre and hilarious things I might stumble upon next? But one thing was for sure. I would never forget the day I saw a robot being lifted to the moon by a group of very strange plants. It was a moment that would stay with me forever, a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected things can happen when you least expect them. And hey, who knows? Maybe one day I'll be the one being launched into space by a bunch of dancing plants. Now, wouldn't that be something?